Hello there, this is Sherri Simpson. Let's see, can you see me a little bit better there? Good. So I wanted to talk to you today about your subconscious and your higher self. And I'm always teaching people how to get answers from themselves. So how do you know who's answering and how do you get these answers? Well, let's talk about your subconscious first. Hi there. It's good to see you, Cindy. Your subconscious is the part of you that you basically, namaste. Your subconscious is the part of you that you basically create between the ages of 7. Hey, Renee. And so basically your subconscious is how you actually relate to the world. It's how you see the world. And if you're not reprogramming or asking your subconscious to upgrade, then how you're actually looking at the world, hi Sarah, is based on a 7-year-old. So if you're not setting an intention on where your information or your guidance is coming from, then the 7-year-old is answering within you. And for some people that can be okay because maybe your upbringing between the ages of 2 and 7 was really good and very loving and very kind. Hi Ingrid. And maybe it's not because, hi Susan, because if your 7-year-old within you had horrible experiences growing up, then your 7-year-old is filled with fear and filled with anxiety and, is very upset about friends and life and the way life looks. And so you want to be really careful when you're asking yourself questions. And that's why some of you may be asking yourself questions and being like, what the heck? Why am I getting these stupid answers? Well, it's because the 7-year-old within you is answering. So what you want to make sure of is to set the intention before you ask yourself questions. I am setting the intention that my higher self is answering. And then what you want to do is you want to tap into how do you get yes or no answers. And I'm going to see if I can show you this here. So bear with me as I take you along on the ride. So what you do is you stand nice and calm with your arms by your side and you set the intention. I'm asking my higher self to provide answers. You don't have to say it out loud. You can actually say it in your head. Your inside self can actually hear you, so you don't have to speak it out loud. But what you want to do is get calm and quiet and kind of ground. And if you're not feeling grounded and you're feeling sporadic and you're feeling crazy, then you want to use some of the techniques that I've shared about how to ground and how to use the tree root system and how to balance your chakras first, because you really want to be in a space where you can listen. So what happens when you're not in a space that you can listen is that your mind's all like, and when that happens, you're not actually going to feel or sense the emotion. So you want to be kind of relaxed and, kind of chilling and be able to get the answers. So what you do is you want to stand up nice and tall and strong. And you just want to say, higher self, please show me a yes response. And what I am doing is actually leaning forward. So what happens in people's bodies is that the subconscious is always going to answer, but if you're asking your higher self to bring you the answers, then your higher self comes down and hands the response to your subconscious, and your subconscious moves your body or creates some kind of emotion within you. So what happens for myself is that I used to use a pendulum a lot when I was asking questions for my higher self. I'm going to switch hands here. So when I used a pendulum, I don't have it with me because I was told to stop using it and it broke about 5 minutes after that. So I don't have it anymore, but a pendulum is usually a gemstone or some kind of a crystal that is on a metal or like a copper or some kind of metallic string, like a cord. And what happens is the response from your subconscious actually moves something in your body that allows the nerves and the response to come through your hand, and that moves your pendulum in different circles or in different patterns. So for me, when I was using a pendulum, my yes response was forward and over towards the left, and my no response was backwards and over towards the right. So because my body knows that, my higher self knew that I knew that, and my subconscious knows that, that is what my standing yes response looks like. So I'll move forward and over to the left, and then my no response is when I'm actually going backward and over or to the right and over to the left. So it's different circles. Not everyone experiences the same yes or no answer. So if it happens to you and it looks different or it feels different, it's not wrong. I had someone the other day who actually had a yes response that felt like overwhelming joy, like literally like bubbling up from within her. And she looked at me like, wow, because it was such a cool feeling. And then her no response was more like a heaviness, like a sinking feeling. So it's not necessarily that your body will move, but your yes and no answers are going to be different for you. So you want to pay attention. Once you know, and you've said, higher self, please show me a yes response, and higher self, please show me a no response, then what you want to do is start testing those things. And I don't mean like testing, like, haha, I'm going to get you, higher self. But what you want to do is say, my name is such and such, and get a yes response, and I have a blue car, and maybe you get a no response, and whatever it is for you. So you have a sense of confidence that you're getting the information. So how do you know who is answering? If you are getting responses that feel like fear, or that feel like anger, or that feel like disrespect, or that feel wrong, that's likely your subconscious answering. And what you want to do is say, subconscious, thank you very much, but I'm asking my higher self here, and we're going to have a conversation, so I need you to step aside. I need the responses to come from my highest and greatest good, from my higher self. So you're the boss. You're the one who actually gets to say, this is what is coming through, this is what I need right now, bring it. And so you want to pay attention, because the responses from your higher self, they might not be the responses you want to hear, but they will be loving, they will be kind, they will be honest, they will be truthful. So you really want to tap into that. So if you have any comments or questions about that, let me know. This is what I teach for people to heal things in their body, which is what I'm doing for the Heal Your Body Naturally program that is coming up in October. And this is what I'm doing currently in the Healing Your Love and Money. And this is what I teach people when I'm working with them one-on-one for almost anything. So what you do is end up asking yourself yes and no questions, and then we dig into where's the root cause of this emotion coming from. What is for my highest and greatest good? Can I release this? Can I replace it with something else? And that process is obviously a little bit more complicated than what I'm sharing right now, but it is a way for you to get responses from your higher self and to bring them forward so that you could actually bring them into your mind. And so what happens is when you're responding to somebody, so I'll ask people a question and say, okay, what do you think the answer to this is? Or can you get a gut response? And they'll be like, I think it's this. And if they say, I think, I know that it just came from their brain, that their subconscious answered. And I'll say, no, I really need you to actually get a gut response. I need you to get a response from your higher self. Because you said, I think, it feels a little bit wishy-washy to me, and I really want you to pull the information for your highest and greatest good. And then they'll come back with a totally different answer, usually, because they've actually allowed themselves to tap into the emotion and to tap into the higher self to get the responses. So if you bring forward things and then you're afraid to get an answer, or if you bring forward things and they don't feel right, then you want to just check in and say, nope, I'm the boss. My higher self is going to answer. So you can also do this with your spirit team, with your spirit guides, with your angels. You can ask a particular deity. You can ask one of your loved ones to come forward, but you want to ask them, may I speak to so-and-so? Is so-and-so available for me? And you'll get a yes or no. So when I'm talking to my own spirit team, I'll ask, may I speak to my lead guide, John? And if he's not available, then I'll say, may I speak to Mother Mary? May I speak to Jeremy? And I'll get a yes or no, and then I'll know who I'm talking to. If you don't know your guides, then I do have a way to share with you how to do that, so you can actually connect with me and we can go through on a one-to-one call how to do that. I will do it with you for one or two of your guides, and then you can do it on your own for the rest. Hi, Nancy. So if you have any comments or questions about how to get your yes or no answers, and what I mentioned to someone about it the other day is it literally is like you cultivating a relationship with yourself. So if you're cultivating a relationship with your subconscious, then it's not going to feel like a really good relationship unless you've done a lot of work to heal your subconscious or the 7-year-old within you. And if you're cultivating a relationship with your higher self, then you really want to allow it. You really want to trust yourself to be vulnerable and allow yourself to get into the deepness within you in order to get the responses that are for your highest and greatest good. And that is definitely how I suggest you ask questions. So if you're asking questions like, should I? Your guide team or your higher self is going to be like, I don't know, should you? Because you have free will. They can't actually tell you to do anything because that's not why they're here. They're here to provide you guidance, and you're here to make that choice. So if you say I should, they're like, you might get wishy-washy answers. If you say can I, or if you say anything that is in alignment with that, you're not going to get a higher power response, because that's not what you're asking for. So when you're asking questions, what I would do is say, is it for my highest and greatest good too? The other thing you want to pay attention to is you can't ask questions for anyone else, because they have their own higher guides and they have their own higher self, and that's their responsibility to take care of. You can ask questions for children under your care that can't do this, but often even kids that are little, you can ask them to do this because it's really easy for them to get a yes or no answer. They probably know what's for their highest and greatest good more so than we do, because they're more tapped into their higher selves than we are as adults, because we've had all of this time to nitpick ourselves and allow the mean soccer coach on our shoulders to rule rather than our higher selves to rule. So let me know if you have any comments or questions. Let me know if you'd like to join us for the Heal Your Body Naturally program. It's a 3-month program. It starts on October 11th. And it's going to be really a deep sense of healing. Before Christmas, I am envisioning that anyone who joins me will have a totally different life and body experience. And that's because this stuff is really powerful. Yes, you have to have the time to ask yourself questions. It means you have to have maybe a half an hour a day to actually tap into, what do I need and how do I take care of myself? So it can be something that you really have to focus on. You have to be ready for it. But huge change can happen when you're connecting into your higher self and when you're understanding what the messages in your body are like. I'll do another video about that. Maybe a little later or tomorrow, but your body is always trying to give you messages. Your higher self is always trying to give you messages. Your spirit guides are always trying to give you messages. And a lot of times we just fluff them off and we don't understand them. So I'll do another video about that to share. If you have any comments or questions for me, or if you have any like interesting stories about connecting with your higher self or your subconscious, then I'd love to hear them. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.